Welcome back to This Day. Joining me now is Allison Bach, Second Vice President with United Mutual. Allison, welcome. It's so nice to meet you.
Well, thank you, Bobby.
So do you have any fun upcoming events this weekend?
Oh my goodness, this weekend is really one of those transitional times because we're still in the middle of our election, United election. And I imagine that a lot of people haven't voted yet. They need to get out and vote, get that vote in, either by mail or in the box in the community center. So it's just 8 more days until the election is finalized and the count is taken on the 29th. And we'll know the 4 people who are elected to serve.
So you've got a list of things you got to do this weekend then.
I do, yeah.
How long have you been on the board with United?
I've only been on the board, this is my first year on the board.
Oh, okay.
And it's been a very interesting, fascinating, challenging time to learn about this community more than I thought I knew already. It's really a fascinating experience.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I'm so glad we have 7 people running.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yes, absolutely. And we'll get to all the election stuff first. I wanted to ask you first about your first slide we have today, talking about the September 12th meeting.
Yes.
Why don't you go through this and tell me, recap this meeting for us?
Yes, we have a number of resolutions that are out on 28-day notification, as it's called, where the board has approved them and it goes out for commentary, and then the final ratification will take place at the next board business meeting. One is revisions to the alteration fee when people want to make an alteration in their unit. Of course, reasonable charges have to be made for the paperwork by the alterations area, and there's a new schedule for that. All very reasonable, and I think good news that reflects today's market environment for doing alterations, the cost of construction, and so on. That's an important one. The next one is inclusion of, it's non-emergency services for painting alterations. We have added the ability to paint alterations that have been done on the exterior of a building. It's a non-emergency, it's a small fee that'll be charged, but it's an easy way for people to get that particular part of the job done. The next one may interest a lot of people, especially if they have pets, dogs that they walk, and that's the herbicide spray guidelines. It gives people a chance to opt out of spraying around their particular units if they don't want herbicides sprayed around. And if you opt out, if you want to cease that spraying, you'll have to maintain those edges. It's interesting, there are about 84 miles of edges, of borders in the community that have to be maintained. And with all the weeds and with all the invasive grass species that we've had in the village over the last couple of years, there's a lot of maintenance. So herbicides have been an effective way to control that and cut down on the manual labor that's required in doing all that edging. Well, if you don't want those herbicides sprayed around your unit, you can opt out of it, but then you'll be responsible for doing that edging and weeding. Always fun.
Okay.
Next one is our lodger policy, and this is going to be the topic of a discussion that we'll have in our October town hall meeting, which is Friday, October 13th. Performing Arts Center from 2 to 4. The lodger policy is very interesting in that it's a response to California Civil Code requirement. It's a code number 1946.A, that says that people have the ability to rent a room in their unit if they so desire to someone of their choice. Now, this is a way that the state has found to help relieve the housing crisis in our state, affordable housing crisis. So we have developed a policy that is now out for review by residents. It's 28 pages long, and every possible problem that could be anticipated has been anticipated in this policy. And we want people to look at it, to come to the town hall and discuss it so that they're comfortable and understand what this is all about. A lodger is someone who would live with you in your unit while you're still living there also. It's kind of an old-fashioned Victorian sounding term, isn't it, a lodger? But it's a very simple idea that someone can stay with you, pay you a bit of rent, and be there for 30 days up to a year. no less than 30 days. So you have to really think this through. It's to prevent units from being used as Airbnb, for example, but it's a longer term and it is a solution, and you've got to be sure about that person you might invite to live with you. So it could be very interesting for people and helpful for a lot of us.
But it only goes up to 1 year.
Correct.
So could you renew it
Yes.
after a year? Okay,
Yes,
got it.
if it's going swell, there's no reason not to, then go ahead and do it. But this has to be approved by the village in management, as well as by a board of directors, the person that is selected to be your lodger. And I think we've thought it through very adequately. So this could be quite
And now
interesting.
all the residents have received that. You said it was like a 28-page document?
No, not yet. No,
Okay.
it's available, of course, online, and it's available, if you look at the Granicus of our board meeting, you can see what some of the discussion was. But we will have all of that policy ready for viewing by everyone who wants to look at it.
All right, wonderful.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, what was the other things on the recap for September 12th?
Yes, we've got an open meeting coming up to discuss our private loan program that's been proposed. It's called the Non-Institutional Loan Program. And I think of an easier way to think of it as a private loan. Not a bank giving you a loan against the value of your unit, but a private loan, a private individual or a private company that is in the lending business. We have been discussing this for a long time. A tremendous amount of work has been done by an ad hoc committee under Azara Ascari, our treasurer. People have worked hard on this to develop a program that is right for United. Now, what this means is that you might have the ability, if this all goes through and is approved, it's been reviewed by our attorney many times, to borrow out a certain amount of your equity. It's interesting that in United right now, the average value of our units is $340,000. And a lot of people own their units in entirety. They have no loans against it. So to be able to take out a lump sum of money for any purpose, for medical reasons, for a trip around the world, to pay for college tuition for a favorite grandchild, you can think of a million reasons why people might want to borrow out some amount of money. Well, right now, the way that we do it is going to have to be through this private loan program that we're proposing. So a meeting is going to, there'll be an open meeting that's coming up with the committee members who worked on this and with our attorney to discuss all the ins and outs of it so that people are familiar with it. This is a program that we set up by popular demand because of the problem with lending in co-ops and condos. So that is coming up. I believe it's going to be on Monday, October 2nd. The meeting hasn't been finalized quite yet. Plenty of announcement time before that'll occur. Another item that came up on September 12th was a motion to approve the increase of reimbursement to members for their electricity usage when they've had a moisture problem in their unit and there has to be a dry down. Well, if you've ever had a water problem, you know that a big part of it, of fixing it, is to expose the wet area and let it dry out thoroughly before it's rebuilt. Well, what that means in United is that the company comes in that provides large circulation fans that run overnight. They can run for days and days and days until the area is fully dried out and can be rebuilt. Well, that means extra electricity costs for that unit owner. And the way that this new program would work would be we would take a look at your Southern Cal Edison bill the month before the problem, the month after the problem, and the month during the problem, and see what the difference is and reimburse the unit owner for that differential that's obviously attributable to those mega fans running for that month.
So basically, after this a period of
Yeah.
time, then you're going to submit
Right.
you know, the bills, and then it'll
Right.
take some time to then
Yeah.
will they receive like a check type thing?
Yes.
That's how it'll be
Yes.
reimbursed?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, that's,
Yep.
yeah, that's very nice. I know I
Yeah,
don't
it
get
is.
reimbursed when it happens at my house.
Yeah, it used to be just a flat fee of $32 per room. And somehow that wasn't right when, you know, there might be multiple rooms and there might be a very long period of dry out. And of course, Southern Cal Edison rates have gone up. So we're trying to find an equitable way to pay people back for that extra juice use.
Very nice.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then moving to election
Right.
news, you have your candidates now. You mentioned you have
Right.
7 candidates?
We do. Their names are Nancy Carlson, Nikki Choi Ho, Ellen Leonard, Harold Medense, Sue Quam, Lenny Ross, and Georgiana Willis. We will have 4 people elected from these 7. Of course, 2 of them are incumbents in terms of being already board directors, Lenny Ross and Sue Quam. Friday the 29th, all ballots must be in and will be counted at an open tabulation meeting in the boardroom. Everybody's welcome to come or to watch it on television. And then on October 10th, the 4 new directors will be seated at the annual meeting.
And then this is, whoever is elected, they'll be serving for 3 years, correct?
3-year terms.
Wonderful. And then
Yep.
everybody should have their ballots by now?
They do, and if for some reason you haven't received your ballot, or it's been lost, or whatever might have happened, there is a way to obtain a copy of it, and that is to contact the group that handles our election. Elections are handled by an outside independent agency that does a lot of election inspection. They're fully certified to do this. And there's a free number, 1-866-466-6455, that you can call if you have lost or never got a ballot and you want to vote. So please vote.
Okay, wonderful, definitely. Everybody get your ballots ready.
Yeah, you bet.
And then lastly, you wanted to give special thanks to 2 retiring board members.
Oh, we sure do. We have 2 fantastic board members that are leaving us, that are sort of retiring from the United Board, although they're not leaving the village, I hope. Cash Ashragar and Azar Ascari. Director Ascari, Azar has been our treasurer for the last 3 years, and she has been just a fantastic treasurer for United. She is an absolute bulldog when it comes to using our money wisely. She's chaired the Investment Ad Hoc Committee. She invited members of the community with significant career investment experience to help guide the board to eliminate losing investments and begin recovery. Now we have treasury bills in our reserve accounts that are paying over 5% interest. And she also developed a new safe investment policy for United that is very enviable and being copied. And she helped to select JP Morgan Chase Bank as our new investment advisor for the reserve funds. It's a lot of millions of dollars of important money for the community. She also chaired the Ad Hoc Loan Committee, which is developing that private loan program we talked about a couple minutes ago. Cash has served also for many years. I hate to think of the thousands of hours that Cash has served in 2 different stints on the board of United, as well as other boards within the community. Cash has served now for 2 terms on United. He's been on members, hearing committee, the disaster preparedness task force, the purchasing ad hoc committee, maintenance and construction committee, the resident advisory committee, and handyman task force. He also led the new resident orientation meetings to inform and welcome new residents into United. And we will really miss Cash on the board. He's just a joy to work with. And I'm so glad that he'll still be active in our community and around for many years to come.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a very noble job, and as you said, takes many hours. And
thousands of hours.
So it's always hard to say goodbye to good people.
Yeah, that it is, yeah.
So, but with 7 new potential candidates, you know, so it's going to have some new and fresh ideas and new talents as well. So
Right.
definitely stuff to look forward to. So thank you for joining us.
Bobby,
It's such
thank
a pleasure
you.
to meet you.
Great, thank you.
Okay, well, stay with us because after the break, we have announcements and weather coming your way.